Good morning, everybody. Let us to start our math exhibition with the word of Dr. Naged, the HOD of Math Department.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Dear students, teachers, SLPs, principal, HODs, and parents. Welcome to Virtual Math Exhibition 2021. The goal of NAS Math Department is not to increase the amount of knowledge, but to create the possibilities for a child to invent and discover, to create men and women who are capable of doing new things. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of mind to think. Children must be taught how to think, not what to think. This event provides the students the opportunity to showcase their creative abilities while reflecting the skills they learned during their math lessons. Good luck, students.
Thank you, Dr. Naged, for your participation. And now, let us to start with the first project now with Group 11A, Group 1. The leader of this group is Saif Ahmed, and he will talk about the group itself and also the title of the project and the phases he already did with his groups, and so on. So let us to see the video, and then let us also to discuss with him what will we do inshallah next time.
Hello, my name is Saif Ahmed. I am from grade 11A. I've been working on a project for my math exhibition with my instructor and teacher, Mr. Abdul Wahab, and my team. My team consists of Abdullah Suwaidi, Muhammad Rashid, Sagar Khalid, and me. And our project is mainly about other types of graphs. We try to apply the graphs onto real-life examples with many things that teenagers can do. We thought of 3 different ideas in our first phase. We asked ourselves, could we do it about sports, or should we do it about video games, or should we do it about our favorite hangout spots? We eventually came up with different questions for each of the themes. The first theme, we questioned if people are really interested into games and other things for math, and we thought if it's good for us to research about. And for our second theme, for sports, we asked ourselves, do people still enjoy sports to this day? And
Second, let us to see. Sorry for that.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum.
That's not this. Anybody else?
We get proper data to collect for our research. And for our third thing, we thought it was irrelevant and unimportant, so we just scrapped it. And then we consulted our teacher, asked him if it's okay to use the sports, which was sports. If it's okay, we can use sports on our graph. And he agreed. He said it's a nice idea. So we chose this topic as our investigation and researched it.
Sorry, Saif again.
if it's if it's okay to use the sports, which was sports. If it's okay, if we can use sports on our graph, and he agreed. He said it's a nice idea. So we chose this topic as our investigation and researched it. My friend Abdullah Swedi came up with the idea to make it into graphs, multiple graphs, not only one graph. We came up with the hypothesis that if we produce a survey, the most probable sport to be on the top would be one of the popular sports like basketball or football. We then recorded our ideas onto the math project journal and displayed our data. Then we came up with the idea of problems we could face. Does our project require a costly amount of money? And no. Is our project available? Are the materials to our project available? Yes, they are. We just needed a laptop and a board. How much time did we need for data collection? We only needed 1 day, since we had a select sample group for the survey. During phase 2 of...
Let us just meet the visitors and let us continue. Sorry, Saif, for that.
Our project, we researched our hypothesis further. I searched up in the net which are the most probable, most highly rated sports that teenagers enjoy. During my findings, I found out that football and basketball are mostly at the top. And then I changed and reconfirmed my hypothesis, so that my teacher would agree with it. I consulted him about the hypothesis, and he said it was okay. I contacted all my friends about the data I collected from the research, and my friends started working on the graph and survey for our data collection. On to phase 3 of our project. During this phase, we conducted a math experiment. We just made a survey for teenagers, our friends, to answer, and so we can find the data that we can collect and research. We chose an appropriate sample size, which is our friends and family, mostly teenagers of our friends and family. And we performed several surveys to check if our data is relevant. We recorded our data onto the math journal so that we can make multiple graphs. We started by making a bar graph, and then we started making a frequency chart and a pie chart. And then we wrote a conclusion to our project that most people, or most teenagers, prefer the sport football and basketball instead of other sports. In phase 4, we started to create our board. We sketched possible designs for our board, and we added our data and collected data onto the board with our title. We came up with multiple titles, but we eventually ended up using our favorite sport as our title. And then we're recording a video right now telling you about what we did in our math project journal. And during phase 5, for our reflection, I thought that statistics is a really good subject. We can apply it to real life, and we can use it in our daily lives. I find statistics simple, but sometimes hard. But the subject, it's a subject that I picked, so it's a subject I have to take. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Saif, about your introduction and your video generally. That's good work. By the way, I need also to show the graph step by step, because I find some confusing related to the showing the presentation inside the video. That maybe. Just please try to be with me when I have some points to talk about, first of all, and then we'll see what will we do. We just need to open it again. Now we can open it. Is that your project, right? That's your answer for your project, right? Okay. As we see here, first of all, this introduction, you already talked about it. And here, that's the items you are surveying about that, right? And here, how come back and so on. This is the result, right? Here, basketball is 4, rugby 2, and volleyball 4 and 5 and 2 and 1, like that. The point is what? This data from your colleague, right? Friends and colleague and so on. Okay, after this, you already make the graph up to this. Sid, please, tell me the title of that project. I'm sorry, I don't remember it again.
Our favorite sports.
That's your favorite sport. That's applying in what? In what lesson?
Other graphs.
The other types of graphs.
Yeah.
Here you choose.
We're going for median and mode, but we decided on graphs.
That means you will graph the title of mean and median and mode, but in the graph.
Yeah.
Which type of graphs you choose?
Pie graph, bar graph.
Pie graph and bar graph.
Yeah.
Pie and bar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pie and this is bar. That's good. And this is the result. As we see here in the graph, we can find football in the first, that's 5, and volleyball second 4, and also that's what, this ball? Basketball or basketball. Okay, and then the first. Okay, that's generally good. That's the point I want to talk about first. Okay, fine. Sorry, Saif. Now, Saif, you talk about the reflection of the statistics itself, right?
Yeah.
Now I need you to just talk about the topic. What do you think about the topic before the project and the topic after the project? What do you think about it?
Before the project, I felt like the topic is repetitive.
I can't hear. I think you can open the mic.
Before the project, we thought that
Just okay. Okay, you can now talk.
before the project, we felt like the project.
Talk. Yes.
Okay, before the project, we thought that the title or the theme of our project was a bit repetitive to most projects. Many people would have thought the same thing, but it was still interesting to us. And we conducted a survey upon the sports that people would enjoy. By conducting the survey, we asked ourselves, should we do median or mode, or should we do graphs? Abdullah really came up with the idea of making it graphs, so it will simplify when we get the data collected.
That's good. But the point is what? I need to talk about your emotion, if you can say that, about the topic before the project and after it. I'm talking about yourself, safe.
Yeah, I like the topic because sports is a thing.
Before the project, what do you think about the topic itself?
It was nice. It was a great topic in my opinion. Because I like sports, many types of sports like volleyball, basketball, and football.
That's it.
And at the end, I still enjoyed it because most of the results.
What about the other type of graphs before the project and after the project? The title in our subject.
Before, I thought the graphs were boring, a bit boring.
Boring, yeah.
But when we apply it to real life, it's more interesting if we apply
True.
the things we are interested in. So I felt like it's more.
Now Sasuke is reasonable, more reasonable.
Yeah.
That's because now it's applicable. I think you can apply it in your real life, in your sports and so on. So you can find it interesting after the project. So, what do you think about the project generally?
I feel like it's interesting to us because we could select what we are interested in by applying our subjects lessons onto the thing we're interested in.
That's it. Yeah.
So we can enjoy ourselves while we read the project without getting bored or being forced to apply something that is not in our interest. So for us students, we find better doing the project.
Good. I think that also because I'm already working in the just theoretical subject and applicable subject, I find the difference. Who's in your group? Muhammad Falasi and Abdullah Swedi. Abdullah Swedi, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here, Mustafa.
Abdullah, I need to hear from you. What about your reflection about the statistic generally and the topic itself before the project and after it? If you want to open your camera and mic, it's okay. If you don't, up to you.
I'll only talk. I won't talk on the camera, but I feel like the idea was great to be applied with statistics, since it will show the best way to show the best sport out of all the sports.
That means before the project or after?
Before I wanted the idea of sports because it's like one of the most popular topics to get applied with statistics, and I was also interested to see what sport was the best, like out of all the sports.
Okay, Abdullah. Before the project, what do you think about the title of other types of graphs, generally pi graph and bar graph and so on? What do you think about them before the project and now? What do you think about it now?
Before, I used to think that they only applied in like normal statistics, but now, like after the project, I can see that it can be applied with a lot of other real-life topics.
Good. Thank you, Abud. And Muhammad Falasi? No, we can hear you. Thank you, Abdullah.
Before the project, like I felt that statistics is like a subject of like unnecessary numbers. Like it is boring, and we are forced to do so many things. And the graphs, like bar graphs, pie graphs, and these things, like it didn't make sense to me. It's like just a figure I didn't care about.
That means statistics now, not just a subject to study and success and fail and so on, not just to getting marks. Now define the meaning of it, and also how to apply.
Statistics will be like applied in everything in our life, and like people fight, like when we did about sport, some people fight which sport is better. So by using statistics, we made a survey and use these graphs now. Like we can see how. Like what sport is better, like for people, you can see like it made it simpler and easier.
Good. Okay, Muhammad, thank you. Dr. Negat, are you here with us? Mrs. Negat is not. Maybe she has something. Mr. Abdul Rahman, are you ready to make us some reflection? Mr. Abdul Rahman is not here. Okay, however, I want to go about the reflection and talk about what do you think about the topic and the project itself. It's okay, Mr. Muhammad Shabrawini, Miss Margaret, Miss Negat also, Mr. Abdul Rahman, sure, Miss Humaira. Okay, thank you guys. Let us to talk about the second project. It will be for another group. This group for Muhammad. Generally, let's see what Muhammad did directly on the project.
Thank you, Dr. Nika. Thank you. Abdul Wahab, and to that student
Okay,
who
thank
dropped.
you Albert, for your participation, sharing.
Thank you very much, Ms. Margaret, for your joining.
And also Miss Khadija had joined along with me. Because of the disturbance, she had to be disconnected.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can write your reflection in chat, and then at the end we have reflection session.
Yeah. Let us to talk about the process journal for Muhammad Omar. First of all, talk about phase number 1 as general, phase number 2, phase number 3, and 4 and 5, and then the total model. Here, he just said he need to talk about the video, explaining what already he did, and then the phases already he did. The first one is talking about his teacher's name and project name also. Project description generally. Here he gets some resources. I think that's the data he already got before. The material is working on, and here sure the group member and responsibility for each one. Here Muhammad Omar. Collect data here, Mr. Fahd, and also Ahmed Rashid working on the frequency polygon, Ubaid Salim and Abdullah Al-Badu and Salim and Juma Hilal. And here the first meeting and second meeting for phase number 1. What phase number 1, ya Muhammad Omar? What phase number 1? What did you do in phase number 1? Sorry?
Coming up with the idea.
Coming up with the idea. Just sit together to discuss what the idea you want to refer to. Okay, that's good. Also here in phase number 2, they starting collecting the data, and or I think just focusing on how to make that idea they already decide to get before. And phase number 2, the product itself, and phase number 5, it will be reflection. Product results. Here is step number 1, drawing and get the file, also the table, and the graph, the first graph, and his reflection related to what is the point you already get, and so on. That's about first point. Now, let us to see what he already did in the video, explaining about the project and what he will do for that.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Muhammad Omar, and I am in grade 11. So me and my friends came up with the idea of making a histogram and a frequency polygon for our math execution project. So we had to go through phases. The first phase was generating an idea. So this phase was we came up all together in a meeting, and we came up with the idea of making the frequency polygon and the histogram. So the first one was the first phase was that we should brainstorm 3 possible themes and choose a suitable topic for our project. So we came up with the idea of the histogram and the frequency polygon. So now we'll move on to the phase 2, where we had to do a research and the planning for our project, which was. So this was done by one of our colleagues, our classmates. His name was Ahmed Rashid, and we told him to do a quick research on this topic and tell us what he can find, and then come up with an idea so we can connect this to this. So we can connect this to the current situation, which is the COVID-19 and the protocols the school are going through. So me and my team came up with the idea of constructing a histogram and the frequency polygon to represent the data shown for the record high temperatures for each 50 students in the New Academy School in a day. So we first started collecting the data to make it easy for us, and we asked Mr. Fahad, our IT teacher, to share with us the data of the students' temperature that is recorded by the electric camera temperature machine, which is located almost in the entrance of the school. So we got the data. It was the turn for us to find the class boundaries and frequency. After we got these two, we started to do the final part where we had to make the histogram and the frequency polygon. Okay, moving on to phase 3. After we collected the data and analysis, we recorded all the data observations in our math project, and then we moved on to phase number 4. So phase number 4, we created and displayed our project to the teacher, and the teacher really liked it. After that, we showed it to the interviewers of the math exhibition. They also liked it, and we recorded our own video where we presented our project, and it went really well. Now we move on to phase number 5, where we had our reflection part. So we reflected on our project. Then after that was done, we submitted to our teacher, and then he really liked it. And now I'm going to talk about my own reflection. So my reflection on this project was that this project was very helpful for us and easy for our colleagues and for me. We could do everything easily, and we had the help of our teacher, Mr. Abdul Wahab, who helped us in every phase, and thanks to him for helping us. And also I want to thank Ms. Nikhat, the head of the math department. She also really helped us through this year, and I really want to thank Ms. Marwa, our head of section, and yeah, thank you for listening.
Do you also thank you, Mr. Muhammad Omar, about your kind words and also about everything you already did. I can find your effort here in the project. It was creative. Now, we need the others to talk about the reflections and your project. Especially, let us to start with your colleague, your team member here, Ahmed Rashid, to talk about the project itself. Ahmed, please, what do you think about the project generally and your effort here?
Generally, the project
I cannot hear you.
Generally, the project was a little hard to apply, and we talk with our friends Hamad Amar and our group members.
Yeah.
We talk about it and we get the idea to do the project, and we applied in our
Just about your team members, what do you think about them? If all of them make the best to let this project to be perfect, or you find some of them is lazy, some is good, and so on.
No, everyone they made our project good, and
You mean as responsibility? You mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Ahmed, for that, but I need to hear from you about what do you think about the subject now after the project? Sorry, before the project and after the project. What do you think about that?
Before the project, it was hard and difficult, and we should work on it. After the project, we work hard, and we take it serious, and it's make us more easy.
More?
Yeah.
That's what you already found. Before the project, some points was so difficult or so boring, like that. But after the project, you just find it easy and it's good. It's good to work in that.
Yeah.
That means generally you want us in the school here to make a lot of projects related to each single subject, right?
Yes.
It's good. It's okay. I generally also talk about the subject itself, not only the topic. The subject generally. Do you think now, after the project, the subject is more interesting, is applicable, or you still find it?
Of course, it's more interesting because before we don't have the idea, we don't understand more. Now, after we know more, and it's more
That's point. Muhammad Omar, if you will make this product again, what do you think about the point of improvement?
The point of improvement will try to present more better because this time I think our presentation was a little bit weak. And next time we'll try to do it more better.
In what points will be more better?
It will be better if all of us presented together in one piece.
That's the point. If you want to make it better, to improve it, generally you have to make a lot of explanation, also show a lot of data related to the points you already did before. Okay, guys, thank you, and I think you make your best to show that product like that. Unfortunately, we just have only 2 groups because this our lack of students in our section. So I'm grateful and thanks a lot for your participation also and your effort before. If I want to talk about something, just I let the mic with Mr. Saif to tell us what is the main difference between his project and Muhammad Omar's group's project.
The main difference is, first of all, both topics are different because one is about the COVID-19 and one about ours is about sports.
Yeah.
That's the main difference. But another difference could be the graphs we use. We use 5 graphs and bar graphs, and they use the other graphs. And we also made a PowerPoint. I don't know if they made the PowerPoint, but we made the PowerPoint displaying
the points step by step. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Mr. Saif, and thank you for everybody. Thank you for joining, Miss Margaret, Mr. Muhammad Jabrawini, Mr. Balir, Miss Khadija, and Miss Naghat Shur, and Miss Bona Bidip, and Miss. However, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for everybody, and inshallah, see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.